69. When we last left our CIA heroes, there had been a bit of a dissension in the ranks as a conflict over their cover identity to sneak them onto the island of Fuquoc sparked an intense argument amongst the group and almost had their pilot sent home. However, fearing for her father's life, knowing that their commanding officer held him as a source of blackmail for Miss Cascella, Gwen ended up staying along with the rest of the team, somewhat begrudgingly. That being said, when we last left them, they were just about ready to take flight and depart for southern South Vietnam to catch a houseboat prepared by their logistics agent to get them properly to the island. Now, as the plane is fully fueled up and the engine's starting to warm up as Gwen awaits clearance from the tower to taxi onto the runway, everybody has stored their kit and caboodle securely on the plane, you'll actually see a man in military uniform waving his hands and making a run for the plane. Well, specifically, Gwen would see this. The rest of y'all are in the back. You aren't going to see a guy running up towards the front of the plane.
Despite everything she wants to do, she does not run him over. She stops.
Well, you're not moving right now. You haven't received clearance to come out on the runway.
Then she resists the urge to floor it.
Oh, okay. So you resist the urge to floor it, and the man, as he gets close to the plane, slows down, and those of you in the main area of the plane hear a knock on one of the side doors.
Chase kind of walks up to the rear door and looks out it and kind of looks at the guy and gives him a what shrug.
The man looking through the porthole kind of shrugs back, like gives a would you please open the door shrug back before reaching into the breast pocket of his uniform and holding up a CIA identification towards the window where Chase can see.
Chase, who luckily has a loaded gun on him from last week, kind of rests his hand on his belt level and opens the door.
Hi, glad to catch you when I did. I'm Agent Adam Helms. You wouldn't happen to be Agent Chasseur, would you?
You have to understand I'm on a pretty significant operation at the moment. You have to understand I can't answer that directly.
Right. Well, I won't waste much of your time. Listen, between you and me, I know you went through Myanmar. All right? That outpost was under my operational control. Now, speaking to another member of your team, I was led to believe you have photographs of what happened there. I would just like to recover that for my own investigation. I don't care what you're doing. I just need that for my own operational security.
Chase nods. Sure, just give me a minute.
Yep.
So Chase goes back into his things and he rummages around and he finds the sort of assorted rolls of film he's shot since Berlin, and he pulls out a little piece of paper that has all these random numbers written down, finds the one with the corresponding number, grabs it, brings it back to the guy and hands it to him. Be careful with that film. It's not exactly information we want to get out.
No, of course not, and I appreciate this. This will help us figure out whatever compromised the outpost. Hey, good luck with what you're doing.
What was your name again?
Adam Helms. Oh, by the way, thanks for helping me with this. I'll make sure to put in a good word for your officer.
I'll appreciate it.
And with that, Mr. Helms would sort of tuck the film in a pocket where it wouldn't really be exposed to much light and walk away, skirting the edge of the hangar so he's not near the engine of the planes.
God, the film photo nerd in me just makes me want to yell. I'm sorry.
I know. As soon as I said that, I was like, I'm probably doing something wrong with this film. That being said, Jay, I promised you I would reward you for that extreme success on your photography roll in Myanmar. Go ahead and roll 1d10.
1 second. My mouse disappeared. There it is.
All right. For helping out your fellow CIA operative, you get 4 to your credit rating.
Woo! Okay, my dice is like at 1 FPS here. Hold on.
Oh, that's not good.
Okay, good. Sorry.
All right. So, now, with that concluded, I do have one question before we do finally take off, and that is going to go to Miss Kayla, who was absent last week. Now, you were gone last week, but Anderson was not, and you spent
Yes.
about 10 hours on the ground.
Apparently farting up the plane.
Yeah. Aside from farting up the plane and catching some sleep, what was Anderson doing?
Likely catching some shut-eye, maybe reading up on any documents that Chase would have left laying around for them to peruse for the actual mission. Rereading debriefing docs and checking any weaponry that she had.
All right, well, once your weaponry had been retrieved by Lukowski, which it had, you'd be able to go through, get everything cleaned, well, and properly lubricated, which is going to be very important in Vietnam's high humidity. You would also be able to go over sort of as much of the mission dossier as possible. Now, because of certain elements of it, I assume Chase is not going to give them access to the more, how shall I put this, sensitive information. Am I correct?
Of course.
Okay.
The spooky stuff specifically?
Yeah, no spooky stuff.
Especially the spooky stuff.
But, however, you would probably be able to get some interesting intelligence about the topography of the region, as well as what Phu Quoc is like, how it's mostly fishing and pepper farms at this point in time. Very, very rich culture of the sea. In fact, from what you can see of photographs of the island and the surrounding villages, it almost looks like a lot of the villages are built partially out onto the sea. Like they're living on the pier, with most of the land reserved for the pepper farms.
If you're waiting on me to say something, I have nothing else to add.
Okay. In that case, that's all I wanted to catch up on. Unless anybody has anything else they want to do moments before you're about to take off, I'm going to go ahead and say that you would get clearance from the tower, and you would be on your way down south to Thuy Bien.
One thing that does need to happen right before we leave, Chase would have to, despite their somewhat emotional outbursts earlier, would have to let her know that their tail number had changed. So when she asked for clearance, she's not asking for the old clearance number, because that plane officially was destroyed.
And Gwen, surprisingly and kind of uncharacteristically, does not bite his head off in that exchange.
Net gain.
That is definitely a step forward. Well, using your new tail number and your new cover, you would be able to taxi down the runway, wait momentarily while another plane ahead of you took off first before you would get your clearance to go, and you would have time, or you would have an easy time of getting in the air. Now, it is almost nighttime. It's about 7 o'clock in the evening, just starting to get dark. But this is going to be a shorter flight than the ones you've been on before. Maybe 4 hours. That's it. So by the time you get to where you're going, it's only going to be about 10, 11 o'clock. And I just want to make sure I'm getting this right, Jay. You were saying you wanted to land at Thoibian.
Yeah, instead of, yeah, pretty much.
Okay. Because you had operational control of that. I'm just making sure I'm getting the name of it right, so I don't... I'm going to warn you now. This is to the audience and to everybody gathered at the moment. I am horribly sorry of how my Vietnamese pronunciation is, because I am not fluent in the language remotely, and I know I'm fucking this up. I'm doing the best I can.
You know what? I think you can solve that
Unacceptable.
with a really racist accent.
I will absolutely not do that. I've already dropped some pretty offensive racial slurs because at this time period, people weren't as exactly sensitive as they would be. I'm not going to out of character be racist, just in character. Anyways, the flight to Thoibian is relatively uneventful for you. However, as you are passing over sort of the highlands of South Vietnam, you don't quite skirt the border of Vietnam and Cambodia, but you are high enough in the air that you could see the border of Vietnam and Cambodia. And there are more than a few times where you can see tracers in the night spitting between two lines, as well as in one particular instance, you will see the tremendous boom of a canister of napalm crashing over a hill and drenching it in horrific fire. Now, all of this is in a distance and poses no threat to you, but anybody who spends the time to look out the window, and especially the pilot who can't help but see this, it's going to sort of congeal as a terrible dread in your gut.
Oh, good. I needed that.
However, once you do make good time to Thuy Bien, you will find that this is a village on the coast of South Vietnam. It's actually, I shouldn't say a village. It's that strange place between town and city where it's not quite as industrial as the area around Da Nang that you saw, but it's certainly not rural. There are a smattering of modern buildings cropping up, mixed with the older, the old-fashioned style huts around the edge of the city. And moreover, there is a runway. Although this is not like the runway in Da Nang where it's professionally paved and monitored with a tower. This will be closer to what you saw in India and Myanmar, where it is a strip of land where the trees have been cut away with a couple of small airplanes parked off to the side. Where
I smell a piloting role.
Yeah, where the trees have been cut away to give you some space. Now, as you get close, you do manage to get onto the company frequencies, and they will give you clearing to land. But since it's dark and you're landing on a short dirt runway, I'm going to need...
I'm
There
fantastic.
There you go.
I have yet to fail a piloting roll. I hope I didn't just jinx that, but I'm glad I put 75 in that.
No. You didn't jinx it, and moreover, you're not going to be taking quite as many piloting rolls for a little while. This will be the last time you're flying for a few weeks.
That was a wonderful landing, though.
Yes, you make a remarkably smooth landing. Somehow, despite the short runway and the dirt road, it actually comes down almost as smoothly as if you had just landed at Da Nang on the professionally paved runway. But you are directed to taxi over to where the other aircraft are parked. Mostly civilian craft. You can immediately recognize one of the markings as God, no, I can't. International Aid. I had the official organization in my head, one of them, and then all I thought was Doctors Without Borders, and that was not the actual organization I had in mind. But now it's stuck there, and I've done that thing where I get the wrong answer stuck in my head. So we're just going to say it's an international aid plane. This is a largely civilian airport. You can see, they would have been transporting supplies and medical equipment through for the civilians of the region. And you pull on in, get yourself parked. And what do you do?
Well, having slept most of the trip, Chase probably would have awoken during the descent and started getting dressed. So, can't exactly greet people without proper attire, you know?
No, not at all. Since this is now the area that your cover is going to be in. Which means you're not the only one who necessarily should be getting dressed.
Sage also starts putting on. She also wakes up as the plane descends, having slept probably before the plane actually took off, and is starting to put on her nun robes while glaring at Chase.
Gwen, who has not been asleep this flight, would wander into the back and just kind of, all right, we're actually doing this. Okay. All right. And she just kind of sorts out wherever she probably tossed her costume and shakes it out a few times and then just kind of like, I can just put this on over my clothes, right?
That's correct.
All right. And she does so. And Rocket is looking at her funny.
All in the name of modesty. You can really wear whatever you like underneath.
Oh, and Sage is also finding ways to strap the shotgun on her without anybody noticing.
I'm
That
sure
both
Gwen
of her
has
shotguns.
Are you trying to strap just the one or both?
Both.
I'm going to need a sleight of hand check.
2 shotguns.
Hey, since Chase has some experience with this, can he assist?
Yes, you can.
Chase kind of comes up and be like...
Oh, that was so
well,
close,
that's
though,
pretty close.
considering how you usually roll. That was really good. Oh.
Chase does it for her, apparently.
Yeah, this is more of a situation where experience beats enthusiasm. Chase clearly has done this before and is able to assist Sage and show her exactly how she needs to more or less hide them so that they stick with the curves of her body, so that if somebody looks at her funny, they're not going to see something oblique, something that's hanging funny, a weird weight on her that's not natural. More or less, that's an extreme success. Jesus Christ, nobody's going to be suspicious of you, but you've got your 2 shotguns on you.
I'm more
Her
interested in the story
really
of when
fun
he's
boobs.
done this
Yeah.
before, is fit 2 shotguns on a woman.
Chase kind of walks in. You know, not to interject, but I think I can help you hide those a little bit better.
Fine, that works. Just
All right.
remember, they're the goods. Be gentle.
We should be not worrying about that. I need actually see if you loosen this belt here, you can tuck this behind the small of your back. It's a nice area. You don't have to worry about too much flowing and getting in the way.
And nuns ropes, would I really be able to reach that?
No, it would be very difficult to reach. The question is, are you hiding it or are you needing to draw it immediately?
Okay, for right now I'm just hiding it. Fine, go ahead.
Right. For this one, you're going to need some duct tape. Here, hold on. I think there's one over here. He just grabs a roll and rips it off, and he kind of takes the regular sling and turns it into what would be a whippet sling, which is just a sort of a loop that goes from one end of the stock over the shoulder to the other end of the stock and kind of tapes it all up so that it hangs vertically straight down the side of her body.
Mm-hmm.
It's a little easier to get to, especially with if you wore a nun's heavier
Right.
cassock. That you can actually access fairly easily
So I
because you
wonder if
just
I can access
swing it up, and you can actually use it one-handed because you're supported against the shoulder on both sides.
Right.
Are you
Funny
actually
story.
doing this for Angie, like, next to your computer? Because that's
No,
what
no,
it sounds like.
I'm just describing it.
I'm like,
but,
well, that's method
role-playing.
acting.
Yeah.
Role playing, giving you a reason to feel up your wife.
It's I don't need a reason. But anyway,
Say, I don't think
uh,
To role play.
Sexy
Yeah,
men.
he doesn't
With
usually have to
guns.
give me a reason. I'll usually just go with it.
but
Yeah.
funny story. This was developed by a fairly famous bank robber. You might have known him as Clyde from Bonnie and Clyde.
Yup.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah, he had a big penchant for large guns, the Browning automatic rifle being one, so he used to do this to the BAR. His wife liked it with shotguns, so if Bonnie, who is apparently 5'0", can do it, I think you can do it.
Absolutely.
And Gwen is just staring at this fucking circus, just with her mouth closed, just watching and amusing herself.
Having done that, Chase takes his reinforced rosary and he sort of counts the beads and kisses the crucifix and sort of tucks it into his cincture.
Where are the thigh holsters for my knives? Fuck. Oh, there they are.
Is everyone set?
Parvana has pretty much gathered up her disguise, which is that of a doctor, so it's not that much of a stretch. Just mainly making sure that she has the correct kind of symbols and identification as a Red Cross member, but and of course slings over her shoulder the particularly requisitioned medical bag that she had.
Oh, fuck. Okay, arm and hip holsters. Never mind, not thigh holster. Fuck.
Much better than having to stop at a German drugstore, don't you think, Pravana?
Much better. That's Orist, Jesus.
They're just going to
So it
become.
continues.
You shouldn't take the Lord's name in vain, Anderson says through her nun habit as she attempts to get
Also,
her
who's
Walter
Oris?
MPK
Who's
heading.
Oris? Who's Oris?
It's not
Gwen
on your
pipes up.
credentials.
Do we have anything we need hidden? Other than I did.
Chase looks at all the guns and everyone's around.
Okay, look, don't be a smartass.
I'm sorry, Pravana, it's just...
It's no, I made sure that there was some small extra pockets that will be easy to hide in the medical bag.
Sorry. Gwen would have folded up and found a place to tuck the nightstick, and then got Rocket all ready with his little vest harness thing with his little backpack on it. And so she's probably got her own supplies in there, just random shit, like a super basic first aid kit, which is kind of redundant with Parvana, but it's there nonetheless, and that kind of shit. And she would also probably offer that if anyone needed anything small that would probably be searched to have a place to go, she could go in there.
For like the dogs cover, did nuns ever have like seeing eye dogs just to have like extra cover also for?
Well, we did
Gwen
talk
or
about
no?
this. I think it's not unreasonable for them to just have a pet dog with them. I think that was the verdict.
Yeah, there's
Okay.
really nothing wrong with them having a dog, and a dog generally doesn't need too many credentials. They do nowadays, but back then,
Right.
I don't
Yeah,
remember
back
that
then,
being a
not
huge
at all.
issue.
No,
Credentials. Who's a good dog?
He's a good dog!
Rocket presents his good boy ID and is allowed anywhere.
Fuck, I need to draw that.
Oh my god, his good boy ID.
Yes.
Okay,
It's
well,
got a paw print on it.
Yeah.
Add that
his
to the list
actual
of me.
paw print. Yeah, I'm not even doing it right now, but yeah.
Okay. Well, more or less, it sounds like everybody's ready. You're kind of left to your own devices at this point because I don't have any NPCs around to push you around and railroad you. Now, you do know that you are supposed to have a large boat, a houseboat you requested, waiting for you. But beyond that, it's 11 o'clock in the city of... I'm going to butcher this again. Thoibin? Thoibin? Thoibin.
You scared the
Well,
shit out of me. I thought you said it was 11
Wait.
o'clock. I'm like, it's not. Oh, you mean?
Yeah,
the
I know. I did that
location?
too. I'm like, wow,
my
we're done
first
already?
my
We
first
did
thought was
nothing.
in the city of Halifax.
Yeah.
Okay, I guess Sage is gonna follow Chase off the plane as soon as everybody is ready. And since this is Vietnamese place, I'm going to
Vietnamese?
Sorry, I'm so not even awake today.
It's okay.
And work shit on me right before this, and it's just kind of like my mind is still on that. Anyway, I'm just gonna walk up to. Are there any locals around?
It's an empty airfield at the middle of the night.
Oh, okay then. So I guess there's nobody for me to go up to. I'm just gonna be following Chase.
Well, Chase hasn't gotten off yet, but he's going to get on the radio and he's going to set up a secure channel to contact Lukowski.
Lunkowski.
Yes.
Well, more or less, you know well enough how to set up a secure line, and after a moment, you're put through to a radio operator in Da Nang, who says, "Oh, hold on a moment." A couple minutes pass, and then you hear Lukowski pick up the other end. This is Lukowski. How can I help?
We are at location.
All right. I managed to get you that boat. It came a little bit more than I would have liked, but came a little bit more than I would have liked. But it'll be waiting for you in the harbor.
You got really New
Complete.
Jersey there.
Yeah, I know. To be fair, he's New York, New Jersey.
Okay,
So
all right, fair
is
enough.
the harbor anywhere by the harbor?
Was that in character?
Yes.
This laugh is in character too.
Anderson is turning slightly to hide the fact that she's smirking.
There's a brief pause on the other side of the radio. Listen, it's down with the fishing, down in the fishing district. It's one of the only big old houseboats should be down there. If you want, you can ask one of the locals for directions.
Who do we talk to take ownership of it?
It's with the fishing company that's currently running under Project Phoenix control. There'll be a little man named Bien.
All right.
He should be your contact. Ask for him. It's the you're gonna forgive me if I mispronounce this. It's the you can sort of hear on the other line as Lukowski shuffles through some papers. Well, it translates out to Bien's Happy Fishing Company.
Happy Fishing Company. All right.
Yeah, I'm not even going to try to do the localization of it, and you're just going to hear me slaughter it. But it's
We'll
Bien's.
figure it out.
Yeah. He'll be the man with your boat. He'll be happy to hand it over to you.
How is this going to look when we have a bunch of nuns and a priest on a fishing boat?
And a
A
dog.
houseboat, not a fishing.
It's a houseboat. It is a houseboat.
Oh, okay.
You're just getting it through a fishing company.
Does it have the logo on it?
I
You haven't
hope
seen it
not.
yet.
What, across the logo for Jesus?
I guess we'll have to be doing some painting on the way to Fuqua.
It just has the gigantic Jesus fish on the side of it.
Yeah, it's
The
got
logo
like.
Trademark.
for Jesus.
180.
Oh Lord.
You guys are idiots, and I love all of you.
Now, does anything else need?
No, thank you, Lukowski. I will try to contact you as soon as we're on site.
All right, keep me up to date.
As much as I can.
All right, good luck. Over and out.
Over and out.
Before they hang up, Gwen yells, "You smell funny!"
Anderson turns away further to hide the fact that her shoulders are shaking.
Okay. Chase kind of takes the headphones off and he straightens his hair back down because we all know what headphones do to hair. And turns around, looks at all the ladies. Don't you all look lovely? Not sarcastically.
I will actually
Sage
punch you.
flicks him off.
Anderson gives him the most pointed glare possible and says, "There is no way, in God's name, that you should be wearing a priest's outfit of all things."
Sage nods her head
My,
as she flicks him off.
my uncle was a priest. It's not that hard.
My brother was a pastor, but oh wait, no, that's out of character. Sorry. Don't make me any holier.
My uncle
Anyway,
was a farmer. I'm not shoveling shit.
again, would you all have preferred the Bikini Top Summer Edition magazine?
Only if you had to wear a Speedo. And she says it with the most straight face possible.
That can be arranged, Anderson.
Alright, let's move right the fuck along before I regret coming
Anyway.
here any more than I already do.
Y'all look good. We're going to form a nice single file line. Keep your credentials accessible where you can get them because that's what they're going to want to see. Parvana, oh, hold on just a second. Do we have any of the slush fund with us? We might need it. Lucas, do we have any cash with us?
Well, considering that you guys didn't
Ask for any.
ask for any, and I, to be honest, didn't think to have you get any, I'm gonna go ahead and say all of the CIA agents go ahead and roll luck.
Luck?
Yes, not you, Gwen, because you're not a CIA
No-
agent.
Oh, hat. I'm off the hook.
I have a lot of money.
Wow! Look at you rich fucks!
Wow.
Oh, way to break the streak, Dan, by 2.
Can he spend luck on his luck roll?
I
You
don't
couldn't-
know.
it
Chase
would
got
not
it
be
in like
worth
an
it. Oh, no, actually, you
extreme
did.
luck though.
The
Yeah.
roll keeps getting farther away. I don't understand.
Yeah, you got a good point. That was dumb of me to say. Anyways, all right, wow, we've got 2 extreme successes. Yes, you have plenty
Apparently-
of slush money available to you.
Apparently both Chase and
Anderson.
Anderson apparently keep slush on them at all times.
In fact, I want you both to roll 3d100.
That's a lot of muns.
Add that to your spending money. Because
To our cash or to our spending level?
add that to your cash. That's right.
Okay.
I always forget that it's cash, not spending money. And there's actually something with spending in it that's completely different. No, that's to your cash right now, what you have personally available. That will not affect your credit rating, but that's gonna add to your cash. You both were able to make withdrawals. Let's see. Sage, you got a regular success. Go ahead and roll 1d100. All right, go ahead and add 94 to your available cash. And Dan, you were too busy learning about how to survive in the jungle. Unfortunately, you didn't have the presence of mind to withdraw any company money.
Doesn't look like that's going to be a huge issue, however.
No, not at all. Not with the those 2 bankrolling you. All right, that is your money situation.
Okay. So, Chase tucks his passport into the cover of a old leather-bound Bible and tucks it under his arm. And okay, ladies, not to put another point on you, but we're gonna be walking single file because we're expected to. Rocket, wherever you feel comfortable.
Is Rocket wearing a nun's habit?
I
No.
really wish he was, but he is not. He's just in his little harness.
I have a question.
I have an answer.
Does he have like a name tag?
Probably.
Is it like a license or is it like on the collar?
It wouldn't. I don't think it would have Gwen's identification. It might have a phone number back to her home in New York with her dad, where his place of business is. But other than that, it would probably just have his name.
Well, no, I mean, is it a license? Like, is it a dangling license, or is it like it's a leather with like the plaque
That's
on
a good
it?
question.
Because there's those two different styles for that era.
Right. I would say probably the dog tags, the danglies.
Okay, then I can't do that. Okay.
Why?
that's
What were you
fine.
gonna do?
I was gonna go like reach into the box and pull out a little cross and put it on his car.
Yeah, fuck off. She will slap your hand away. Don't do that.
It's an agnostic dog.
Yep.
Is Pravana just
He's
gonna
a
be
dognostic.
walking next to Chase, or
Agnostic.
Single
is
file.
she? Oh,
One's
but
walk
she's the
single file.
doctor. Okay.
Oh, I'm sorry, Parvana. No, yeah, Parvana, you can walk next to Chase. I forgot about that.
Parvana gets the privileges of walking side by side.
Yeah, no shit.
Then I'm gonna try to be
Did not
right
go to
behind
medical
them
school for
and
nothing.
translate things if I can. Sorry, Dan, I didn't hear you. What?
I just said, did not go to medical school for nothing.
Side by side.
And if you said that in character, you will feel a slap on the back of your head from Sage. Not a hard one.
Also, Priest Chase.
Oh no.
Oh god, he looks so uncomfortable to look at.
Yeah.
He's
That is-
staring at me.
Really accurate.
File.
It's a little pedo-y.
Okay. Enough of those comments. We are being streamed.
Sorry.
Anyhow. Alright, so if nothing else, the procession of CIA nuns make it underway.
Hey, Locus,
Yeah?
are we in undercover?
Oh my god, get out.
As the undercover agents begin their trek through Thobin,
I'm done.
Thoibin,
No, you're
Thoibin.
done.
Ah!
These nun puns are getting out of control.
Hey, you
Out
guys.
of a nun troll?
No.
out of none
okay.
troll.
No, they're
Okay,
non
guys, none of that.
drillable.
Oh my god!
If we don't behave, they're gonna send us away to a punnery.
What do you call a nun that lives upstairs? None of the above.
Oh my god.
What do you call a nun in a wheelchair? Virgin Mobile.
All right, that last
What do you call a nun who's stocked up on fiber? A religious movement.
Okay. Those are
done.
great. No, those jokes are done. That was great.
I'm done.
We're done. We're done now. Oh my god, that was I think you might have been right about me finding God. That was an experience. Wow.
Well, I just clipped that.
Please,
Good.
I'm glad.
Oh god, I'm crying a little.
Okay. But as the procession moves away from the plane, you'll find that the airport is much like the city. Not quite asleep, but certainly not awake. You'll find food stands that are closing down, people who are having their last few drinks before they head home, or a little bit to something on their stomach to sober them up before they head back. Unsurprisingly, the city is still slightly damaged. There is, after all, a war going on. There are some buildings that have been burnt out or shelled. These don't seem to be recent injuries inflicted upon the town, though. Hang on one sec. Sorry, thought I heard something. It doesn't seem like these are recent. These happened much later and are already on the way to recovery. The damaged buildings are being cleaned out. You can see new construction going up. It's already trying to make life a little bit better for these people. But for the most part, the city is quiet. The streets are quiet. There's not a lot of people around. If you head straight for the docks, well, actually, more importantly, how are you going to know where the docks are?
Because it's next to the water? Is this a trick question?
There's a few docks next to the water.
Oh, I'll
I
shut
pull
up.
out Google Maps? No, I'm just kidding.
That'll
Well-
just get you lost.
I use Pokemon Go as a GPS.
This is still a city. Well, not a city. It's like kind of in between a town and a.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not quite a full-blown city. It's definitely bigger than what you would. It's bigger than you'd expect.
But not so like small and village that Parvana wouldn't be able to say, "All right, I know how a city works."
Yeah.
So she is going to try to just, by using her navigation experience, just to try to get the lay of the land.
Okay, go right ahead. Roll and navigate for me, please. Unfortunately, you're having a little trouble orienteering yourself, mostly because the alphabet on the signs is completely foreign to you. If it was a English alphabet or something, you might be able to orient a little bit better, or even an Arabic alphabet. But this is a very different language to you. Now, that being said, you can push that roll.
As an interjection, what about French language signs that may still remain?
Ah! That would be a good way to push the roll.
Or is there a way that I could just maybe ask for some help?
You could. There are a few people about. They seem to be sort of done with the day, tired, not really paying much attention to you or anything else really going on. People heading home is sort of the theme of the current population.
Chase,
We're all so lost.
Chase, you say there's houseboats, and that's the common way.
Yeah, but it's supposed to be by a fishing company,
Well
so it
then,
might not be with the standard civilian docks.
Okay, while they're
if-
talking,
If that's the case, we probably should take a general look away from where people are walking. I don't know exactly where we are, but I assume people are leaving work.
Hey,
Sage is
Lucas.
going to do a big no-no, and she's going to approach one of the drunken locals, specifically drunken. I don't know why,
Okay.
and start talking. And excuse me, sir, could you help us?
And you actually do speak Vietnamese, so
I do.
the man sort of turns one direction towards where he hears the noise, except you're more over his left shoulder and he turns towards his right, making him turn almost all the way around to face you. Huh? I'm sorry?
I'm sorry. Could you help us, please? I don't need to do a charm roll or anything for this, right?
No. Right now we're just talking. I will let you know when you need to roll something.
No,
okay?
no roll.
Well, we'll see how the conversation goes.
No.
Shh. What do you need help with?
If you could just give us, or at least point us in the right direction, for now, of the Bien Happy Fishing Company.
Bien. Oh. And the man leans backwards a little too far back, stumbles a step back before pointing a finger sort of downhill. Since the city is built going towards the water, you're kind of at the top of a very slight hill, and he points all the way down near the bottom, about maybe a mile and a half away. Well, not quite. You can see roughly where he's pointing. Although the man's finger is swaying so much that you get the sense of a general of direction, but not a specific destination.
Is there any way you might be able to take us there, please?
Can I interject?
Yep.
Locus, could
Yes.
I roll a spot hidden to find it, or is that not applicable?
Not really applicable. It's not so much that you're looking for something hidden that he's pointing at. It's that the man is clearly inebriated and it's a bit of a ways away. So even if he was pointing directly at the building, his finger's wobbling a little bit. And
Gotcha. All right, carry on.
no, I need to go home. I need to see my wife. I need to get some sleep. I have work tomorrow. Wow, this accent is absolutely horrible. Why is he
Southern
Russian?
Vietnam!
Jesus Christ. This is like Southern Russian Vietnam.
You're the one who brought us to Vietnam, Locus.
I should. I'm never taking you anywhere that requires me to do an accent again from now on. It's just going to, all your missions are going to be on
Within
the
the
East
United
Coast of,
States and Canada.
yeah, on the East Coast of the United States and Canada. We are never going anywhere foreign again.
Sounds good to me.
CIA
is
versus geese.
Is it that far away that surely it wouldn't be more than 5 minutes of your time? Could you please take us to BN Fishing Company?
Roll charm. So now you're trying to convince the guy. There you go. See, and you were all upsetty about your rolls.
This is the one time I wish we had video cameras because she jumped in her chair.
Did she really?
Okay, I'm
Aw.
sorry, but
That's
with my last
adorable.
couple of nights getting like 98s, 99s, and a fucking
Good.
100.
Don't
Yes.
apologize. You're allowed to be hype about that.
Good, I'm
Yeah.
glad. Anyways, the man wobbles and then immediately sort of looks down at Sage's boobs and stares
It's
For an
not
uncomfortable-
a boob roll.
an
It
uncomfortable
was
amount of time.
a
All right, yeah, it's not that long of a walk. And so the man starts shuffling down the windy street, the direction he pointed. You now have a guide.
Yay, we've recruited Oris Nien.
Oh my.
God.
Thank you so much for helping us. Could you we're about to go to Fuquoc. Could you tell us a little bit about it, please, or what you know of it?
Fuck that little island. They have the best fishing ever. This city was built on our. I'm
Russian
not.
again.
Yeah. Anytime I attempt any sort of accent, I'm just trying to do drunk. I'm not even. I don't know how it becomes Russian. I'm not going for Vietnam at all. I'm just going for drunk, but somehow it's ending up Russian.
Well, you better start pounding shots to make this believable.
No, I have work tomorrow.
That's your only reason.
Yeah, that is my only reason. Anyways, I swear, we built our city on these nice, beautiful sea. Try the NATO from Lima Indigo Victor. Built this city.
I was thinking the same thing.
So much of our boats and our time and our lives went into the sea. But all of a sudden, they find these spots where the fish practically jump in their boats, and they dredge up these great big pearls. And they will not tell anyone where they find these things, and they drive all our fishing companies out of business. There is Bien and Din Tru. Again, apologies for the horrible Vietnamese. It's all that's left. God damn it. Have I really
Shit,
got
I'm the
Scottish
only
now?
one that understands this conversation too, aren't I?
Yes, you are.
Yes, ma'am.
Fuck!
Everyone's just like, okay, I guess we're following this guy now. Wish I knew what
Yeah.
the fuck she was saying.
Yeah, you're in a more or less kind of just following along as he you two you converse politely and he drunkenly rambles at you about how terrible the fishing has gotten.
And nearly falls into your cleavage.
Yep.
Well, I'm a nun. I guess I have to allow him to do that. But
No.
well, I'm
Must
impersonating
comfort.
a nun, so I have to allow him to do that. Anyway. Oh, that's. I'm so sorry. Were you a fisherman before?
Yep. Still am. I signed up with Dintru.
Oh, and how is it there?
Long, not enough pay. Keep wanting to go to Fuquoc myself, but the people there are quiet and don't like outsiders very much.
They don't like outsiders?
No.
About how far along have we made it? I'm just trying to.
Oh, you're getting close. It's not that far of a walk. It's just that this isn't a city that was built on a grid. This is just kind of it's very winding roads. It would have been a little difficult to get here, even if you knew the general direction, because the roads aren't going to take you in a straight line to where you're heading.
Is there anything else about Fuquoc that you know of?
Only that they're the luckiest bitches in this whole country. Their fish is good. They don't get bombed. Fuck them. Oh,
That is a large scale.
what?
That's, I said that is two very, very different good things. Like, that escalated very quickly.
It's a nice place to eat. There's not a zombie apocalypse.
I mean, to be fair, it's true. They're not getting bombed. That's something to be jealous about. Anyways, as he sort of finishes that line, sort of just, oh, we're here. There's the BN warehouse.
Thank you so much for your time, sir. I don't really know what else to say, but thank you so much for your time. May God bless you, if that's not offensive.
You know, I've always wanted to see if one of you little pink women could give me a kiss on the cheek.
So good that no one can understand this conversation.
Anderson would be punching this guy in the face.
I have to wonder if Chase just like walked over and like clocked the guy's lights out, if that would be an effective choice.
Well, to be fair, one of the things, as he says that, he leans forward and starts, doing like the drunken tap on his cheek. Yeah. So it's not completely hidden from you guys what this guy wants.
Chase
Anderson
kind of
starts
like,
yelling more.
yeah, Chase kind of looks at Sage and like, do you want me to knock him unconscious? What do you want me to do?
That seems unfair after him helping us.
Wait,
That's
can I
also not-
interject a third option? Gwen
sure.
gives a very quiet command to Rocket, who then starts barking viciously at this man. Doesn't do anything further, just barks.
Roll
Loudly.
animal handling.
All right, hang on. Where is that? Fuck! All right. So he looks at her and he goes,
Rocket goes up and humps the guy's leg.
No, it wasn't a fumble. It wasn't a
It's not a
fumble.
fumble.
But that would work too.
Would you like to push your roll?
Oh god.
All for a kiss on the cheek.
She could use
Or use luck.
no. She can use snacks. It's like using tools, but for dogs.
Can
Yeah.
I use
Oh
a
my
Scooby snack? Oh god, I'm gonna super regret this. I'm gonna push it.
Okay, go ahead. How are you pushing it? Yeah,
Oh
explain
wait,
it to me.
shit.
You do need
Did
to give
I-
it. You do need
I
to give it
almost
in
did the
character.
exact same roll. Okay, well the push was gonna be that she gave the command and then the dog just kind of like deadpanned at her, and so she kind of gave it again a bit more firmly. And in that like with animals, there's ask tell command when you're training them.
Mhm.
So you ask them, which is a gentle command, and if they don't do it, then you tell them, which is a bit firmer. And if they still don't do it, then you command them, which is like you
Ah.
fucking do what I tell you to do.
Okay,
So
so she
first
went
was
to.
ask, and second was tell,
Okay.
and it didn't do a goddamn thing.
Well,
Oh, it did.
it did. You just. If you remember, if you fail a push roll,
Yeah,
there are consequences.
70% chance. I'm never doing that again.
Nah,
Dog bite?
the dog. Rocket looks up to Gwen as she gives the more firm command before advancing on the drunk Vietnamese man, his ears flattening towards his head, and he begins a low growl before that deep, just angry bark at the man. One solid warning before he digs his teeth into the man's lower leg.
Well, do I have to abide by the fail, or can I now intervene?
Now you can
Anderson goes,
intervene.
good boy.
You
Okay.
have to abide by the fail.
You-
There's
you have
Well,
to
no, that's not what I mean. I mean, like, can I now do something, or am I
Oh, yeah,
still at the
no,
whim
you-
of the failure?
No. He bit him. That was the failure.
Okay, gotcha.
This
Well,
man
then-
is now crying out, being bitten by your dog, and bleeding. But you
Oh,
can act.
Sage is gonna kiss his cheek and start crying. Oh my god.
Okay, so shit.
Anderson
See, now
mutters
here's the
good boy
part.
and pats Rocket's head.
Here's the part where I would usually
He's
go
still
like,
biting
okay,
him.
Yeah, he's still biting him. There is
Here's the
blood.
thing
This
is-
is not a
no.
little bite. This isn't a love nip. This is
Here's
he's
the
trying to
fucking
hurt this
problem.
Who
guy.
else is on the dock?
No, hang on. Here's the problem: is that the reasonable thing to do is that he's trained as like a canine dog, so he has a command for like sit the fuck down and chill. But I'm afraid to give it to him because of how those rolls went.
Well, you've got a 70% chance.
Here we go. Stop it, Rocket. Oh my god!
Okay.
This dog
Lucas,
sucks. I
Lucas,
want to exchange it for a
Lucas. I
Yes.
need to talk to you for a minute. Okay. Two things I need to confirm before taking action. One, the Bien Happy Fishing Rate is actually controlled by the Phoenix Project.
Yes, it is. It is under it's a civilian company, but it is under control of the Phoenix Project. They are reporting to CIA.
Okay. We're at their door.
Yeah, you're right out in front of them.
It's the middle of the night.
Middle of the night, not many people around.
We
Actually,
say not many.
more-
Give me a.
When I say not many, I mean that there is nobody immediately visible. But if this noise keeps up, you're probably
Never
going to see
mind.
people.
I roll a 93 as well because
Oh
apparently
my
Gwen's
God.
stink has landed on me.
Well-
Alright, assuming
Dragging
nobody's
you down
around,
with me.
then Chase draws his silenced pistol and shoots the guy in the head and opens the door.
What? Jesus Christ! The dog's teeth are still in him. That solved nothing.
He's not screaming anymore. Chase says completely deadpan as the body
Oh
falls
my-
inside the door of the warehouse.
What the fuck?
Anderson frowns and says, that wasn't very saintly of you.
What have
After the gunshot, Rocket sort of bounces back. You know, even with a suppressor, being close to a gunshot isn't exactly
Yeah.
pleasant, and it's more unpleasant for a dog. And he sort of pads up to Gwen and sits beside her, his muzzle bloody. The body, as Chase had done so, falls into the warehouse. The sound of him howling in pain to having a dog latched onto his leg, being cut off very quickly.
The gunshot suppressed not only by the suppressor, but also by the fact that the guy was yelling at the time.
Yeah. I'm going to need you to roll your handgun skill, Jay, and do anything but fumble it. just to see, make sure you don't jam your gun.
I didn't jam my gun. I got a 50.
Okay. Yeah, then you're fine. Yeah. You didn't get a malfunction.
I
You're
did
fine.
2 damage.
Wow. Jesus Christ. How do you do... Oh my god, you rolled a 2 on 2d10. Oh no, it's a 1d10. Okay.
I'm gonna just
Wow.
go crawl under a rock. Out of character, I would like to apologize to everybody.
Oh my
Like,
gosh! If I knew that
wholeheartedly.
was gonna happen, I would have just fucking given him a kiss on the cheek.
I didn't know! This dog is a mind of its own and I fucking hate it!
Anyway.
Oh my god!
Listen,
I think
one
this
of the
would've been a lot
jobs
less
of being in
painful.
charge is covering up all the rest of y'all's failures. So
Jesus Christ, we could've just okay, you know what?
I could have just
I'm-
given him a kiss on the cheek.
As the body
Chase thought
drops...
there was nobody around.
As the
I'm
body...
dead.
Okay.
Chase, you
Everybody,
had better
sorry.
take care of his
Chill out.
family. Apparently, he had a wife and a child.
Chill out, guys.
I forgot about that.
As his body falls into the warehouse, you'll hear a clatter from inside the building, followed by indistinct, sudden voices. Sage, you'll understand what's being said from inside the warehouse as you hear, "What the fuck was that? Who's there?"
So, stepping over the man's body, the gun is not concealed, but it's like against his stomach. So, if you were behind him, you could not see it.
Right.
Wait, this is in
And
the
he's standing.
BN
He
fishing
wants through the
company,
door.
though, right? So
Yeah,
it should be
we're in the door
company-owned?
of the warehouse.
And the voices are coming from... The voice is coming from inside the warehouse.
Okay, so it's probably somebody from Shadow Company as well. Would there be like any kind of saying that I would know for sure that I could just yell out to him to make sure that he is Shadow Company instead of just some innocent person that they have on the payroll to make it look like it's an actual fucking fishing company?
No.
No,
I mean,
there's probably
damn
a
it.
call and answer. That's
Yeah.
standard for this theater.
But as you step inside the warehouse, Chase, you will see 2 men. One of whom has fallen out of his chair and is scrambling to get up. That was the loud clang you heard as you stepped in. Well, as you killed the man. The other has a he's got a gun leveled at you as you step in the door. Both of these are very clearly Vietnamese men, and neither of them are... He hasn't immediately opened fire on you. He's the one demanding, as Sage would know, but you not so much. Who the fuck are you? What are you doing here? Who the fuck is that?
Sage is going to automatically translate this to Chase.
Chase starts speaking in French. Peace, my friends. Nothing to worry about. And he kind of puts the gun away slightly. He sort of crosses over them as the gun goes away.
The man with the submachine gun sort of looks at his friend who's just now finally stood back up, and then they swap to French. Peace? You just shot a man on our doorstep.
Yes, and he's going to draw attention if we don't get him inside very quickly.
They exchange looks. Then they look at Chase. There's a brief pause before both of them sort of... The man with the submachine gun puts his submachine gun down, and they're like, all right, get inside. The 2 of them each grab the man, one hand on each shoulder, and pull his corpse into the fishing plant, slamming the door behind you all.
Well, I'm terribly sorry about that. That was not how I planned for this to go. But I believe you have a houseboat waiting for us.
Oh. You're with Lukowski then?
With Lukowski, and we'll take him with us, don't worry.
If you want him, it'll make it easier on us.
Well, I didn't come here to intentionally inconvenience you, but unfortunately, some of us can't control our assets. Chase just sort of looks glaringly over at Gwen, and then comes back and smiles widely.
Rocket has sat down next to Gwen and is panting happily, still covered in blood. Well,
Well, she
bloody
got some of that.
muzzle. Yeah.
Gwen would not have the balls to actually glare back at Chase, but she's just, it's like, I mean, I didn't choose for him to do that kind of face, and this is my responsibility, and fuck.
Yeah.
Once everyone's inside and they're not specifically questioning Chase will start patting the body down for information or intelligence.
You find through like $20, more or less. I know that's not the actual currency then, but
Okay.
well, not in Vietnam, but equivalent. You find a few bucks. You find some basic licensing for his fishing, for him to be a fisherman, and that's about it. A pocket knife.
I'll take all of it.
Yep.
Literally, some of this is gold. License for fishing? Yes, please.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Pocket knife? Hey, sure.
Yep, this man, like I said, he was a licensed fisherman. He was, went home went to the bar straight from work. He still got all the credentials he would need on him, and they don't really, not a driver's license, but yeah, but just wallet, a little bit of money, and
Wedding ring.
Yeah.
wedding ring.
They would have had some kind of ID as well, because it was the country was. There would have been paperwork, documents.
That's
of some
true.
sort.
Yeah, there would be some kind of ID. But yeah, you'd get all that. Just very basic stuff. Nothing shocking you would find on somebody. No KGB identification with a radio tucked up his asshole, reporting straight back to the Moscow.
No, this
None
was
of that.
unfortunately just an innocent guy who was charmed by one of our players.
Yeah,
And
I was so suspicious with his Russian accent.
God damn it. The Russian accent that suddenly swapped to Scottish and then back to Russian. And then
Yeah, Gwen interjects. I thought he was some kind of secret agent. It's justified.
Please
listen,
tell me
that was
we have a
messy.
way of taking care of this apparent widow and child since we just shot him.
I thought you were going to say the body.
Hold on just a
Or
second. Sage. Let me
helping
pull
us?
out my orders. No.
Oh my god.
Listen, I didn't want this to happen. I stayed out of the way, but unfortunately, we really don't need any more attention being drawn to this. The quickest way to shut him up was what was done. Sadly, it means he died. To be fair, he shouldn't have been so bold with you. He's lucky you didn't punch him.
No, that would have made him
I
lucky
think
if
that
she
would
punched
have
him.
been better.
Well, Gwen, do you want to explain what the fuck just happened?
I don't know. This dog, and she is resisting the urge to kick it, has extensive training, and he is just not minding lately. So I guess he's just here for emotional support.
Okay.
Okay, so I guess whoever touched my dice then went ahead and touched
Rocket's dice.
Rocket
Dice?
hasn't succeeded a single fucking roll this entire game except a couple listen checks that don't matter because I can't talk to him.
Okay, Gwen, you need to keep him on a shorter leash. But otherwise, we're gonna have to trade him in for a newer model.
Let's get a
Thanks for reading
Chihuahua.
chat. CIA Chihuahua. I can smuggle it.
I mean, to be fair, Chihuahuas typically are one of the more aggressive breeds, actually.
Yeah, but they bite ankles.
Yeah, I was gonna say, but if you bit him, you probably wouldn't really notice. Besides,
You just
shake
be
him
like, oh
off,
shit, just kind of like, yeah, nudge him with the foot. Oh god, this is
kick him
a
into
mess.
the
All right.
water, never to be seen again. I'm all right
No,
with that.
we-
It's a Chihuahua.
Hang on now.
Well, as you sort of strip the body, the two men go back over to the table where they were sitting. One of them shakes his head, leans back over the table, and just finishes what he was working on. when you walked in, before leaning back in his chair and sort of gesturing towards the corpse. Who was that?
Not important at the moment. Is
Russian spy.
our ship ready to go?
Yeah, we've got it all ready to go. Should blend in just about it. God fucking damn it with the Russian accents.
I didn't mean to curse you with that.
I don't know why that's happening. Oh well. Yeah, it should be fun. Ready to go. Why don't you show them out to their boat? And he sort of, again, gestures to the other man who hasn't quite sat down yet, but was just about to sit down. He looks at his boss, well, at least the man who's telling him to show you to your boat, irritatedly, before getting back up, despite the fact he was practically about to take a seat. And, he heads towards the opposite end of the warehouse, closer to the water. Now, how are you taking the body with you? Or are you just going out to the boat right now and just leaving it where it is?
No, we're gonna load it onto the boat. And
Well,
I'll probably. What do you mean? Sorry, go ahead. We're not gonna leave it there. We're gonna take it on the boat. We're gonna dump it once we're out on the ocean.
Okay, so one of you is just gonna grab it and carry it for right now?
Yeah, I'm just gonna drag him onto the boat. I mean, it was a head wound. It won't be that bloody. And he'll probably pick up some chains or an anchor or something like that. Just, whatever random boat shit they have lying around that's metal and heavy.
Right. Well, as you go through the warehouse, you will find that even if he was bleeding completely horrendously, which he is bleeding quite a bit, he's dead. It's not going to be out of place. This is a fish plant. Everything's been cleaned up since the day, but you can see very clear black reddish stains on the ground from where fish were butchered, gutted.
Fish, air quotes.
Yeah, exactly. Remember, this is company owned. But where fish were gutted and prepared to be sold at market. The man leads you out the back, pausing once he's out the door to stop and light a cigarette. There's a small fleet of fishing ships that you can see, little trawlers, as well as older, just completely old-fashioned boats that haven't been quite upgraded to the modern times yet. And he leads you down 2 piers towards the end of the docks that are immediately connected to the warehouse, where a much larger, little more conspicuous boat is waiting for you. Something that could comfortably home a few people for a little while. It's a houseboat. In fact, It literally, with the Vietnamese style of making these boats, they actually look kind of like somebody just built a house on top of a float.
Like a barge base, yeah.
Yeah. So.
Well, this is nice. This will do. Thank you.
Sage is gonna actually turn on. What can you tell? What additional information can you give us about Fuqua?
The man looks at Sage and just kind of shrugs. It's an island south of here. Ship most of our fish out there. And at that point, the man sort of turns around, drags on a cigarette, and starts to walk away.
Excuse me, you say you ship most of the fish there?
The man sort of pauses, sighs, holds up 2 fingers on each hand and says, "Fish."
Ah, never mind.
Nods and starts heading back to the warehouse.
So, dragging poor innocent soul who got absolutely owned by this group onto the boat. Just this poor fucker who all he did was answer questions and then request a kiss in return. His leg ripped up and tapped in the head.
Again, I probably should have just given him a kiss on the cheek. Oh my god.
Well, the dog just wanted you just wanted the dog to bark at him.
He just was supposed to bark.
He was just supposed
He's
to
an
bark.
asshole. This is 70% chance to if I failed it 3 times in a row.
I like Chase's form of shooting. It's not, oh hey, I'm gonna shoot at someone over there. It's literally, I'm going to put the muzzle to your head and pull the trigger.
Yeah, because you're not going
What a
anywhere
guy.
when a dog's pinning you in place. Kind of like why dog meat's so useful in Fallout 4.
And Chase was right behind
Yeah.
Sage, so
If
it's
If
like
only we had
literally
a dog
step
that was
forward.
useful.
But from that, we've learned a combat team attack.
Yeah.
That's rad.
Rocket, do the thing. Click.
Don't!
Actually,
now she's associating it with bad things now.
Darby, could you do me a favor and mark
Oh.
a success on Rocket?
Are you kidding?
Because he successfully bit the guy.
He did indeed.
But he didn't roll that. Wait,
Yes, he
fighting
did.
roll?
Yeah, he did. Totally did.
Oh, you rolled it for him. Okay.
I rolled it for him because
Yeah,
I
he
was
got a
taking-
33. He got a hard success.
Yep.
Okay, so what we learned today, kids, is that Rocket doesn't follow instructions. He flies by his own rules, but he fucking hurts when he bites you.
Yeah, he's real good at biting people.
He's real good at biting, not so good on the following directions. I'm dead.
Anyway, so I find it more amusing that Gwen is just so disturbed that Rocket bit a guy than the fact that Chase just blew this poor guy away right in front of her.
Oh no, she would if the dog bit him and then like he listened to the let go command and that was the end of it, she would be like pissed that the dog didn't follow direction, but she wouldn't actually be upset about it. She's upset because this is her fault and she fucking knows it. So she's not really directing the blame onto the dog. She's not directing the blame onto Chase, though she's like, okay, maybe that was a bit overkill, pun intended. But she knows that this is her fault, so all she can really do is just sit there and just fuck.
Is Rocket a good boy? Just try to protect Sage. Oh,
Blood for the blood dog! Who did that? Get off my dog!
That's Locust, probably.
I did good boys demand blood. I don't know who did blood for the blood dog. 'Cause that's really
so
clever.
good.
Anyway, so I mean, is there a deep well or something on the boat? Something where people would store fish, those kind of things?
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
Chase just kind of unceremoniously dumps the body in there.
Okay. Well, with that, you can cast off anytime you want. This isn't quite the same austerity with a aircraft where you need to get clearance from a tower. You're free to go.
No.
does any of us know how to drive a? Never mind. I'm not going to say complete the rest of that.
Shit.
Rocket actually.
There's
has
no
a,
road.
No, but there are boat signs that you need to follow. I don't know what the fuck they're
know,
called anymore.
but we don't read Vietnamese,
not if we go
so it's
fast
irrelevant.
enough.
Oh.
So Chase is first gonna make sure everything that they requested there, the radio's there, make sure there's nothing glaringly obvious about the boat that would be a concern.
There is nothing glaringly obvious.
Yay, I barely made that, but I did.
And as you do a spot hidden check, I'm going to assume you do your usual sweep for bugs.
Of course, as he is a technical officer.
You don't find anything bugged. You go through the electronics. You can't find anything out of place. It just seems like this has been set up, typical company style. No big deal.
Is there any logos on the side that would be a concern? Like, does it have the fishing company's logo? Okay.
This is very much a residential house boat. This is not for this wasn't owned as part of their fleet previously. It just looks like they've acquired it for you.
Okay. Then Chase kind of gives the go-ahead, and we kind of cast off. And once, I mean, I know none of us are super proficient in driving a boat. We can probably, maybe with a little bit of uneasiness at the dock, get out onto the right direction.
I
Okay.
imagine Gwen could make pretty good sense of like the dashboard, just maybe not how to operate machinery.
I mean, here's really the question. Does Drive Auto cover boats?
I'm gonna say yes because it's very similar.
Then
It's
Carvana!
yeah. It's
God, everyone strap in!
It's basically a big old steering wheel, but instead of you having a foot pedal, it would be the hand to adjust your
It's a hand throttle.
Yeah, it's a hand throttle.
Hey, Pravana, how fast can you get us there?
Like now. Everyone sit down.
Oh, is fast really what we're looking for?
No, fast is not
No.
what we're looking for. We actually have to, if we can go slow and steady, that would be preferable. It'll give us a little more time to set up.
Alright, I'll take it easy. Try not to shoot anybody else.
Listen, you know that's not how I wanted this to go down. He wasn't even with the company.
I know, but...
Are you implying that you'd shoot someone from the company?
I'm not obligated to answer that.
Anderson gives him a quizzical look and then just goes back to investigating the rest of the houseboat.
All right. Parvana, would you please give me a drive auto?
Nope.
Oh my god! Is that a fumble?
No, Parvana, the wheel's over here.
Parvana has launched herself off of the boat.
That is actually a fumble, and I'm going to have to punish you for that.
Oh my god, we're getting nowhere. We're killing people. We're gonna ruin this boat. What
Anderson
the fuck,
braces
guys?
for impact.
Welcome to the fumbles at midnight.
Lord have mercy.
As Parvana settles into the controls, she gets ready to back the boat out of away from the pier, but mixing things up a little bit because, to be fair, boats are very similar to autos in the way that they're steered, but they're not necessarily the most similar in the ways they're controlled. She ends up going forward instead of backwards and hits the dock. Now, she's not going to do an incredible amount of damage. As Chase had counseled her, she's not going to be going quickly. She's not going to floor it. It's more of a shock to the... That's a fumble, too.
Oh my
No.
god!
No, because I have
See-
less than 30.
She's correct. That is not a 96, and therefore...
Okay. You're...
Anderson falls over.
Everyone put the dice down
Okay.
and just step away.
Everybody put your dice down and listen to me talk for 1 second. Aside from the fact that now I need to stop talking about the actual RP, you need to explain what you're doing before you roll the dice. On top of the fact that if you roll dice needlessly, it means I'm more likely to punish you because you're more likely to fumble the more you roll. You also need to say what you're doing so I can set the scene. Stop doing the just randomly rolling dice in the middle of what I'm saying. Okay?
Okie dokie.
All right. Now then, as you bump into the dock, it rattles the boat, shaking everybody. Few of you who don't have your balance so good might even fall on your ass. If you gave even a cursory look, though, you'd realize it hasn't done much damage to the dock and it hasn't done much damage to the boat. However, the fish barrel that you crammed the dead body in has fallen overboard and is now floating away.
The
Hey, guys.
question is, do we notice that?
Do you notice that? Is anybody paying attention?
I am, guys.
Okay.
Guys, the dead guy. Guys.
Anderson
Wait.
just,
So what do I roll to grab at it? Is that a
Let's...
sleight of hand, or is that a...
Well, what are you doing? Are you just going to lean over the edge and try to grab it before it
I
floats too
kind
far?
of want to see if Chase can just do like an amazing reflex and catch it before it rolls off.
Okay. Dexterity.
Not sleight of hand?
No, go dexterity, because it's not so much that your sleight of hand would be palming something. This is just going to be your reflexes.
Ooh.
oh, good job, you got
This is that
Yeah.
comeback.
You grab it with you more or less grab it with one hand as it starts to touch the water, and are able to pull yourself and the body back up onto the boat before it gets far enough away that it would be much more difficult to acquire.
Chase just, once it's steady, just walks away. Alright, so let's try this again, folks.
Is there a place that I could just lock myself in a closet in this stupid thing?
Yeah,
I'm
actually,
gonna go
probably.
sit down and buckle myself in. Give me a 5-second warning before you get started, okay?
Sage, there's no seatbelts.
Fuck, I'm gonna go find somewhere to sit down and a
gonna
nice little
lay
steady
under the beds.
pole
There's a
to, like-
couch. We go sit on the couch. The houseboat.
No. There's a
Anderson looks
pole
pointed.
somewhere where I can just sit here, wrap my arms and legs around, and just sit there and cling to it until we are off.
Gwen fights the urge to make a joke about pole dancing.
Anderson looks pointedly at Chase and says, "As the captain, I expect you to go down with the ship when it sinks."
Can we please just go?
Parvana, do you need some help?
I'm figuring it out. It's a boat. It's not a car.
All right. Dan, would you give me an intelligence roll real?
Actually, before I leave, by any chance, is there a
Holy
manual?
Oh, we are going.
If there was a manual, Parvana has found it and absorbed it directly into her psyche.
But she doesn't like.
Photographic memory on Parvana for the win.
No, it's not even photographic memory at this point. She has literally taken the manual, shoved it into her forehead, and melded with the book.
I believe that
Absorbed its
requires a
knowledge.
sanity check, folks.
Oddly enough, Gwen has done something similar with the floorboards in the back, and Rocket is very confused.
Yeah.
I was just wondering if there was a manual that I might have been able to read to help her, but that works too.
Yeah. Why don't you go ahead and make another drive auto with a bonus dice? That
Oh,
is a
thank God.
success.
What the hell?
Fucking close. Good lord, COC is against us just because we're being sacrilegious, for God's sake.
God is actually looking down at this COC game
All
and
right,
just being
I
like,
figured it out. It's just pretty much you hear like a clunking. This is It's not the greatest vehicle, but it'll get us there. It's not as good as Germany van.
I'm gonna go find the life vests.
I'll help you.
Rocket, sniff out the. Nope, fuck you. I'm gonna throw you off board if you miss that roll.
His new bed is in the barrel with the dead guy.
She fumbles the roll, and Rocket just throws the life vest over the back.
Rocket is actually a giant asshole. Like, we're debating the morality of all the shit that Chase is doing. No, Rocket is gonna make us all go down burning. He fucking hates all of us, myself included.
You don't understand. No one cares what Chase did. This is the funny thing.
Because we're all
No
so
one's-
mad at the dog. I'm so mad at the dog. That's why I don't give a shit about what Chase said.
that's hilarious.
Anderson can't get too pissed because that's literally her job description.
Sage
Oh
is
my
pissed,
God.
but we're kind of on a schedule here, so she can't really take it out right now.
Gwen is just becoming desensitized to all things horrible. She,
So
give
once
it like
we're
a
on
week.
our way... Sorry, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, give it like a week and you could kill the dog in front of her. She'd be like, well, shit, and keep going.
Now that we're on our way out of the harbor, once we're, like, the city lights are kind of, sort of a distant memory in the background, Chase is just gonna kind of bring everyone together and say, okay, you don't have to stay in costume for now. It's okay.
Gwen immediately
Relax. I
rips
think
it
we
off.
have, how long do we have, Parvana?
She essentially does her general calculation and. Actually, yeah. It's how far out are we, Locus?
It'll be a few hours. It's not a. You are one of the closest ports to Fuquoc, but to get to the actual city of, or not the city, the town of Muchua, which is where you're supposed to be going, probably you will get there roughly shortly before dawn. So I would say 6 hours.
It's 25 miles straight across, if we go straight.
It's
Oh wow, that's going to be way. Actually, that's way less than I thought it would. That would not take more than a couple hours.
We aren't moving at 25 miles an hour. So if
Right.
we're moving at 5, it's a minimum of 5. And most boats do go slower than that.
Okay, then yeah, it is going to probably. Okay. Sorry, I don't know why.
we've got a night of it yet.
Alright. Okay. Well, after that, Chase really doesn't bother anyone, but he does sort of put the heavy things that he borrowed from the fishing thing in the barrel with the guy. And about, I don't know, to 3 a.m., he will just kind of unceremoniously kick it off the back of the boat.
Just the
Bye,
barrel and the guy.
The barrel, the guy, and the weights, and just
Okay.
with the lid on, and just let it sink or float. It really won't matter. By the time any information could be gleaned from it,
It will.
be too late to be of any use to anybody.
With the weights, it seems to bob for a moment before disappearing under the surface, and you can see air bubbles start to rise up as the barrel is slowly filled up with water and starts sinking more quickly before finally it just disappears beneath the blue-green sea completely.
Hey, Locust.
Yes.
He made sure that there weren't any boats around before he did that, right?
Well, it's dark. They wouldn't see us anyway.
Okie dokie then.
We are kind of open.
So, if Gwen, like, as a character choice, Gwen would probably want to take this time to make sure that Rocket actually knows any commands anymore. But I don't know if I were to just do, like, simple training exercise stuff with him, not like police dog stuff, but like sit, lay down, all that shit. If I rolled for that stuff, would it be something that could count as me checking that off, or would you rather I only do that for actual in-story stuff?
No, that is in character. I would suggest against pushing the roll if you fail it.
I'm not gonna push it. I'm not gonna push it. If he's bad, he's bad. That's okay.
Okay, but yes, you can
Oh,
go.
you son of a bitch. He can sit, guys.
He does
Guys,
seem.
he can fucking sit. Oh!
Chase just looks up from cleaning his gun after disposing of the body. That's good, I guess.
Gwen is about to cry. Not really, but
Sage
really.
just eyes Rocket and leaves the room again.
You know what's funny, guys? I already had a check next to it. I'm an idiot. Oh, I wasted that. Alright, please carry on before I do something else stupid.
Well, you've more or less got a night of it before you get to Muichua. What is everybody going to do? How are you going to spend your time?
Boat driving.
Yep.
Teaching the dog how to sit.
Okay.
Sleeping.
All right.
Cleaning the blood off of a suppressor.
You might want to get some
Cleaning
of the
the
blood
blood
off your.
off of dog.
Yeah, you might want to get some blood off your cassock too, since you were carrying a corpse.
No, I dragged him by the arms.
Oh, okay, fair enough.
I wouldn't have picked him up, please.
Gotcha,
Jason's
gotcha.
a professional. Plus, dislocated arms are easier to work with than barrels.
No, true enough.
Sage is just going to be up front talking to Pravana, probably about nothing in particular.
You know, I'm much better with a car than that. Some unsettling.
I understand that. Plus, I'm sure you don't drive boats half as much as cars.
I would say half would be very generous.
Well, before he died... God damn it. Before he died, he was mentioning that, Fuquoc was apparently getting very good fishing out of it, and, finding giant pearls and other things. It seems really strange.
Look, it's not to jump to conclusions before we get there, but the research I was given had many ties to the sea, for many of the more unsettling things that we may be dealing with here. Perhaps that's... Look, my research that I requested gave me an awful tale of a boat, and maybe that's why I was a bit nervous casting off. I feel we need to be on guard for strange things like that. Yes, it may be that it's just coincidence. But she kind of just shakes her head and tries to. No, I'm overthinking it. I don't know what to believe anymore these days.
Parvana, Sage, roll a spot hidden for me.
Well, I guess since I'm asleep, I can't do it.
No. Plus, I didn't call you specifically by name.
Anderson with one eye open.
Anderson, with your third eye.
Yeah. Parvana seems to be mostly paying attention to the horizon as she drives the ship, doing a good job of it. But it's Sage who sees something a little more peculiar off in the distance, beneath the gentle waves of the sea. It catches the corner of her eye because she sees what seems almost a peculiar yellow glow off the port side. Way, way off port side. Deep into the distance, almost just a tiny speck of just a strange yellow glow beneath the waves. Faint, but discernible.
Okay, if I pointed out to Ravana, would she see it?
Yes, she would.
Do you see that?
She looks. And considering what she just said, and considering. Does it look extremely out of the way?
It is. You would need to adjust course to go if you wanted to get closer.
He looks, and considering what she just said. And she adjusts the course to go over to take a look at it. I do see that.
Sage is gonna go as close to the front of the boat as she can to try and take a better look. Pravana, do you think we should go get Chase or?
See if someone's awake. It will take some time to get there.
Okay,
Glenn is awake. Beaky dubs.
Chase is awake.
I guess I'm gonna grab both of them and drag them to the front of the boat and ask them if they see it too.
Do I need to
They
roll?
do. No.
Okay.
If it's being pointed out to you, you don't need to roll. And
Gotcha.
as you are coming to the boat, you're actually going to see something a little shocking that Parvana would have noticed. After you adjusted course, it started rapidly getting closer, almost as if not only are you going towards it, but it's coming towards you.
Okay, what do I roll to remember what I read? Would this have any parallel with the files that I read? Specifically referencing Innsmouth, Devil's Reef.
All right. So
Hang on, I need to think. I'm trying to remember because I can't remember if there were the strange.
More specifically, the extended details of the destruction of Devil's Reef.
Oh no, you would not need to roll for that. You would know the extended details of the destruction of Devil's Reef. That
Well, I'm just saying, would this been described or mentioned?
no.
Okay, so I don't have any idea what this is.
You don't know what this is.
and it's not another ship, is it?
No, it is. As you are getting closer, you can see that it appears to be just a faint. It's a clearly round glow from under the water, just under the water.
Oh, great.
Is that like a submarine or something?
It could be. Chase takes the pistol, grabs it by the suppressor, and kind of bangs the magazine well against one of the metal supporting pipes in order to get Anderson's attention upstairs.
Do we
Anderson,
have sonar on this ship?
No.
No, not at all.
Worth a question. Worth a question.
It was. I'm just saying. No, it's like a barge with a house built on it and an engine. And that's about as much as it is.
Well,
Yeah.
you never. I don't know enough about boats to know if that's like standard. You know.
No.
The sound of the banging downstairs has Anderson like rolling off of. I think she probably fell asleep on a couch or something. She rolls off of it, falls on the floor with a heavy thud. Can be heard like scuffling around, and then kind of runs around the corner. What is it?
Something under the water surface. Parvana, evade.
Parvana uses evade.
She nods and then pretty much once again adjusts the course rather than to go directly at it to try to circumvent.
Anderson looks at Chase. Should I arm myself?
I would say that may not be a bad idea.
Would I be
Anderson
able to
goes ahead
find
and does so.
binoculars on the boat by any chance?
Roll luck.
Yeah, that's
Shit.
definitely a luck thing.
Yep.
Can I just okay? Can I just
Aw.
roll education just to try to think if I might be able to figure out what this might be? Like if it's, and I mean in the human sense, not in the.
No, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can go ahead and roll education for that.
Because I mean he's dealt with a lot of military equipment, including submarines. So
Could I do that for Glenn as well, actually? I know he passed, but...
Yes, you could.
that
That's a success.
tickled.
Both of you do recall that, it could perhaps be a submersible, as they do have lights on the top of them, but it's very unlikely given the region. And
Right.
even more so, it's very unlikely that they would have their lights on to be spotted.
yeah, that's kind of a no-no.
However,
not-
both of you do recall strange stories from across the world, little tidbits you might have picked up in school or college or what have you, about seeing strange lights off of a river or something, pixie lights, sometimes called, usually dismissed as basically swamp gas or a weather balloon, that kind of ho-hum.
What color is the light again?
Squids.
Yellow. It's
Could
yellow.
it be? Is it yellow?
Yellow?
Oh,
Okay, well,
so it's
Glenn
not
would,
squids.
in character, Glenn would be like, is that something bioluminescent? Or...
That's what I was thinking, but that's almost always blue.
I thought so, too.
Okay.
Wait, I have another
I found
question.
binoculars. I still wouldn't have a good enough view of it, would I?
You can roll spot hidden. Look through
When
them,
you
see
say
what
that...
can see.
When you say that it's yellow, correct?
Mhm.
Does it look like that yellow, like light bulb yellow, or does it look yellow like sunshine yellow,
Sunshine yellow.
Okay, so very, if it is a natural light, then they have it like almost tinted.
Yeah.
Right, okay.
Yeah, so you can't pick up anything other than you're going to find out. Actually, you are going to see one thing, Sage, as you try to look at it closer and get an idea of what it is. You realize that this thing is closing on you much quicker than you thought, and even as Parvana moves to evade to resume her original course towards the Fuquoc, this
Can Anderson
thing
go
is
ahead and
catching up to you.
Shoot it.
It's way too far off to shoot. That you have with
Can
submachine
Anderson
gun.
fire a single warning shot?
We don't even know what it is.
And on
You
top of that,
could.
you do get about 3 feet of penetration in the water.
Yeah.
That's all. Who has the best spot hidden? I'm gonna hand them the binoculars.
I've got
That's-
65.
That's metagaming.
Yeah,
That's
Glenn
metagaming,
has-
guys.
Oh,
Okay, then I'm gonna just hand
Well,
the
then can
binoculars
she-
to Chase, I guess.
Who has the best set of eyes?
Yeah.
Specialized.
That's what the question
well,
is.
hang on. Yeah, okay, we're
Who
going
has
to
the
be like,
best
hang on,
eyes?
let me look at it because, pilot and everything.
My brand.
Okay, then I guess I hand it to.
I see nothing. Someone else take it.
Again, you're having trouble to pinpoint it because it's moving towards you very quickly.
It's,
Well, can she at least say that it's moving towards her very quickly?
Yes, you could say that, but Sage said the
guys.
same thing.
Yeah,
It's coming in.
it's closing in on us faster.
Chase
Anderson's
Chase
Chase same.
says, "Okay, everyone, arm yourselves. I don't know what this is." Sage, did you
fucking
see any
nightstick.
other fishing boats around here?
I did not.
I mean, it could be a net light or a hook light. Fishermen
That
often do
doesn't-
that to try to.
Do they really have those back then?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah,
It's actually a really
absolutely.
old trick. They just put a
Mhm.
big spotlight on a rope, and then they have a long line of hooks going off into the deep.
Well,
I
I
mean,
would willingly
correct me if
accept
I'm-
that, except for the fact that it's now chasing us and it's going faster than us.
Give me those binoculars. Chase just kind of grabs them. Now this doesn't count as pushing it because another person's trying, right?
Yeah, no, it does not. It's a different person. Okay.
Chase, tell us what you see with your special eyes.
You don't see something particularly strange about the light other than its initial existence. What you see particularly strange is that something around it is casting a shadow by the illumination of the light, something large underneath the waves. And as you sort of glimpse out to it and you can see this strange undulating shape in the darkness, the light winks out and vanishes.
Oh, good.
We're
I'm
gonna need a
assuming we
bigger
can all
boat.
tell that the I'm assuming we can all tell that the light is now gone.
The light has vanished, and it had gotten very close before it vanished. I would say it was probably 200 feet away from the boat.
I don't like this. Why do I feel like it's gonna hit the boat from underneath us?
So it's still dark outside, isn't it? So even if we did a spot hidden, we wouldn't be able to see it, would we?
No. Well, it depends on the level of success with your spot hidden.
I have a question / suggestion. Is it fair to assume that if Gwen just has kind of like very bare minimum basics shoved in Rocket's little backpack, could she have a flashlight?
Yes.
Okay. Well, then she would go retrieve this flashlight and be like, should we actually go look for it?
Chase just kind of puts his hand out. No, we don't.
Okay.
We don't want to draw more attention to ourselves. In fact, Parvana,
Are we
Bring
in
the
gun it
engines down as-
phase?
no,
Okay.
opposite.
Just kill the engine.
I don't. Yeah, just go quiet.
She goes quiet.
Just let's give it a minute.
Sage is just trying to walk around the boat, trying to see anything. Anything.
There's a long moment of silence after the engine dies, leaving you sort of just drifting gently on top of the waves. And it's Sage who spots it again first, as this little yellow light winks into existence, deep beneath the waves, very deep, but visible off the opposite side of where it had previously been under your ship. This time it seems to be standing still, not moving, not approaching. But I would say it's about 20 feet off the deck of the ship, simply deep under the water, but bright enough to be seen. And as she notices this first little one, a second one winks into existence, and then a third, and a fourth. And suddenly, it's almost as if the sun has risen early from all these little lights winking into brightness surrounding the ship.
Chase grabs his camera.
So now there's no me pointing it out, right? There's just holy
No.
fuck, we're surrounded.
And more importantly, as this is happening and the light gets brighter, those strange black shapes you saw shifting in the waves, Chase, everyone can see them very clearly now. Not quite able to tell exactly what they are. They're nothing you would recognize, nothing you've seen before, nothing you've had described, not even in those files given to you by Hutchinson. This is unique. Just dark, long bodies writhing against one another, moving unnaturally beneath the deep, only illuminated by the little pale yellow lights that they've somehow brought with them, shifting and moving in numbers greater than you could ever possibly.
Chase disables the flash, opens the aperture as wide as it'll go, and takes a picture. And he is fucking on point!
Yeah.
All right, now
Yeah, you
save
are.
us.
Chase invents Instagram.
Can Anderson now shoot at this thing?
I,
No. Let's
How close
not.
do you
it to the
really want to
surface.
start that engagement?
Let's not and say
How
we
fast
didn't.
can the boat go?
Not fast enough, I'd reckon.
Maybe 5 miles per hour.
That thing was outrunning us before.
Yep.
As you bicker on deck
Just click,
about
click, 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 click.
what's going on, and Chase holds back Anderson's urge to shoot into the water while furiously snapping exceptional photos of what he's witnessing.
National Geographic ain't got nothing on this.
In an instant, they all vanish. Not one by one as they had appeared. They go out instantaneously. And the waters are still. Everybody take a sanity test.
Oh, Lord. Oh,
I
thank
forgot where
God.
sanity is. Oh, there we go.
Let's see.
Wow.
Sage is
If I had a
doing good.
penalty
Wait,
dice.
my current sanity value is blank.
That's
What?
not good.
You should have filled that in.
Not good.
I did. I definitely filled it in, so it must have. I don't fucking know what happened here.
Okay, well, it should be your starting power is your sanity.
Locus.
Oh, okay.
Is it safe to assume, because I didn't think Rocket actually had a sanity number, but he does. So is it safe to assume that he can't see over the goddamn railing and he's immune to this?
That sanity is fear, if you remember correctly from the discussion.
Is it? Okay, never mind then.
Yeah, go ahead.
So he does need to roll.
He
He
does?
does need to roll.
But he didn't see it, did he?
You saw it get very bright.
He saw it get very bright.
Okay. Bright lights are scary. Oh, poor baby. He's so useless. He's gonna run around shitting now.
He's okay. Let's see. Kayla, you failed your sanity roll, which means
Yep.
you need to roll intelligence next. It's been way too long since I've done this.
Oh my, I'm not having a good day.
Okay. So you how is it? With the failed intelligence, it means she does not internalize it or
She
rationalize
doesn't
it.
rationalize it. Yeah.
Okay. I'm gonna need you to roll 1d3. Okay, you're only going to lose 1 sanity point.
That was pretty good.
But you are deeply disturbed by what you've seen. And unfortunately, so is Rocket, who is now wrapped himself around Gwen's legs as much as possible and is hiding underneath her like there's a thunderstorm going on, just quietly whining. Very
Gwen
upset.
is trying to console him, of course.
Anderson turns to Chase and just goes, "What the fuck was that?"
I really wish I knew.
Carbonic.
Unfortunately, I think this is just the beginning.
What?
I mean-
what do you mean just the beginning? What makes you say that?
Parvana, why don't you start the engines up? Everyone come downstairs. Let's have a talk.
It's gone.
Okay. If I do a spot hidden, they're all gone, right? Before I
You
even.
can go ahead and roll. I mean, you don't know that for sure.
Okay, I guess Sage is going to do one last look around and pray that she can see something again. Or pray that she doesn't see anything
that's a good
again.
roll.
You don't see shit.
Fine.
Sage, are they all
Yeah, that's pretty
gone?
good.
I'm not seeing anything. I guess so.
That's
Gwen is
much
too
worse.
preoccupied with coddling the dog, and she just kind of herds him below deck, where he is very happy to dive to.
Oh, that's much worse.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. I'd rather at least see something there, because they just disappeared.
So, everyone with any intelligence in marine biology, please raise your hand. No? Okay.
Well, I have intelligence in biology, but I'm driving the ship, and I do not want to be here anymore.
Fair enough, but I mean, are we gonna cause a problem by actually starting the boat up and driving off?
We need to get out of here.
I mean, that is very true. But that thing can move faster than us, whatever the fuck it was.
Right, which is why we need to get to land ASAP.
Alright, take it away.
Who says I can't move faster on land?
Well, we have no idea what it is.
We cannot
Listen.
be paralyzed by fear.
I don't know. Sounds like a good place to be.
Now I have to decide how much of a nerd Chase is. Hold on just a second.
Oh my god.
A big one. Parvana is going to turn on the engines and
We
resume
can't just
course.
sit here. Fear is the mind killer.
Oh
Alright,
my
then let's
god.
go.
Serialized in Galaxy Magazine 1969.
Oh my god.
You're such a dork. All right. As the engine comes
Gwen's
back
just
on,
like, I took lunch money from kids like you.
as the engine comes back on,
I think I helped, except for I seduced them.
you start heading off towards your original destination. An uneasy calm settling over the sea as you head out. Unfortunately, that's where we're going to have to call it for tonight. I know we do need to do story time with Chase, but it's already 11:30. So,
What is story time with Chase?
well,
It's where Chase tells you all the uncomfortable things you didn't hear in that conversation. with Hutchinson.
Gotcha.
so, thank you very much, everybody, for coming out here tonight, and thank you very much for everybody who tuned in. But that's going to be it for the Shield Against Midnight. I hope you all have a good evening.
Yeah.
Have a good night, everybody.
Good night.
Night.
Night, everybody.
Okay.
Oh, 1 second. I actually have to turn
Are we
Damn it.
here?